Ladies, listen up. There's new information today about our biological clocks. A recent study from Boston University School of Medicine revealing that women who give birth naturally after the age of 30 are more likely to live longer than those who had their last child, before they turned 30. So I'm emphasizing these numbers, Dr. Siegel, because I thought that women were most fertile before we hit the age of 30. So what is this about?
Well, first of all, Arthel, you're not wrong about the last point, because women do better when they have their first child younger. That's not changed. But what we're finding now is that women that have another child, let's say, in their 30s, even 40, there's one study that shows they're 4 times more likely to live to the age of 100 if they have a child after 40, if a woman has a child after 40. But the reason this is happening is because if you're able to conceive late, it probably means that things are working. You may not have diabetes. You may not have autoimmune disease. You may not have genetic problems. In other words, if the plummet continues to work, it's more predictive that you have the same genes you need for old age. You're healthier, you can still have a child, and then on top of that, you'll live longer. By the way, 85% of the people who live to 100 are women to begin with.
Well, that's
we're
a whole
in trouble
other story
here.
Because we are the dominant gene, gene from the dominant gene pool, but that's a whole other story. But now this also says...
Eric is not making comments.
It says,
I'm not saying anything. All right.
but look, I want to read it again. It says, revealing that women who give birth naturally. What is...
Well, you know what's interesting, Arthel? In this particular study, they also found that the women who were giving birth after 30 were the ones that really take care of themselves, are more educational, they had full-time job, and these are the ones that go to doctors, and somehow that genetic variation has led them to have the child later on, and because they take care of themselves, they have the longevity. So this could be a completely indirect fact as a result of this. But, you know, the message is not to really wait until 30 or 35 to have the child. That's a wrong message from this segment, because as you get older, your fertility goes down, but you also, when you have a child after the age of 30, your risk of gestational diabetes goes up, your risk of high blood pressure goes up. So, of course, if you have a chance to have at a younger age have the child, that's the way to go. But in this group, we find that when women take care of themselves and they're healthier, obviously, they can have better fertility and live longer.
What about a C-section? I mean, is that...
Yeah, because that's why I emphasize naturally.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that part of this study? Or?
This is not part of this study, but actually, I predict it would probably have the same results. Some of the reasons that David just said, you know, maybe a person takes care of themselves better, but we want to emphasize it's having your first child young, if you can, is better for the system. But if you are able to have children later in the game, it predicts you're going to be in better health.
All right.
That's you, Arthel.
And the takeaway, that women are the dominant gene pool.
I like to say we suffer from Y chromosome
Have you
syndrome.
noticed that all 3 men just completely... These are the smart guys.